gosh, I am sorry for titling this video this way. I just gotta call it how I see it. Really, I got to. The Vancouver Canucks lose 4-3 to the Seattle Kraken at Rogers Arena. And on paper, you could look at the score, you could look at the shots, you could look at the numbers, the production, and you could say, wow, that was a close game. Vancouver only down by 1. That must have been a super tight one, the atmosphere buzzing in Rogers Arena. But I'm going to be honest, the way the Canucks played tonight was not good. I feel like this is exactly what Dom Lucian, as snarky and as antagonistic as he does, was alluding to, the great regression of sorts. It's the combination of the PDOs and the shots and all the stuff not being sustainable and the Vancouver Canucks eventually coming back down to earth. And sure, you could say that I'm overreacting from this game based off of the title, based off of the thumbnail. I'm going to be honest, I've been watching a lot of 50s movies lately, a lot of black and white noir stuff, LA, New York type stuff, so I was kind of in the mood to make a Great Recession, Great Depression type thumbnail, so that's where that comes from. Plus Tyler Myers is in it because he played a very pivotal role in tonight's game. But the Canucks lose 4-3 to Seattle in a game where, if I'm going to be honest, I feel like the best player on the team, or at least the supposed best player on the team, ELIAS PETTERSSON, showed off that he might actually be a lot worse than we thought he is. And I say that with the most love and respect and gratitude towards Petey and his skill set in the world. You all know how much I love ELIAS PETTERSSON. Every one of you in the comments also loves this guy too. But can we be honest for a second? He's not been it this past few games, dude. He's got to be hurt. He's not taking his shots. He is not processing the game as quickly as we know he can. There are so many moments, especially in that third period, where you could see ELIAS PETTERSSON either fumble a pass along the boards in dire time, or when he has a lane right into the middle, he fumbles the play, he does it a little bit too slowly, he doesn't take advantage of what's presented to him. I'll say that his passing has still remained pretty consistent throughout this entire quote-unquote slump, if you want to say. He's been pretty good at placing the puck for his teammates, but the guy just refuses to take high-velocity, top-cheese-type shots. He is holding himself back from really being the top offensive contributor that he can be. And that's crazy because he still got a point today. He still leads the NHL in points. And I'm going out there saying on social media a sentiment that I feel a lot of Canucks fans have been pointing out in Twitter threads, Reddit threads, my comment section even, that ELIAS PETTERSSON is not playing his best. And this game against Seattle, I feel, might have been the worst game that we have seen out of this bunch, where PD just does not live up to expectations. Like, sure, I'm being harsh on the guy, but it's because we know how good he can be. He was better than this for a good chunk of last season, even if last season he wasn't scoring at a 100 and whatever point pace like he's on right now. Quinn Hughes, you could say that guy has been great. I'd say that he was pretty good today. You could say the same thing about JT Miller. These three, by the way, they each got a point tonight, so they all overtook Nikita Kucherov because Kucherov had 3 points against the Oilers earlier this evening. Vancouver has the number 1, number 2, and number 3 point scorer in the NHL, all tied with 28 points. Kucherov's at 27, as Miller, Hughes, and Petey all got points tonight. Let's go over each of the goals, let's go over the tail of the tape, and the story behind this game, and why some Canucks fans are starting to get that doomer mindset slowly and slowly as this game had gone on. Now, heading into tonight's action, I was really anticipating this game, mostly because I have mostly Canucks on my fantasy team, as well as Kraken players. The Kraken guys, Tolvanen, Schwartz, Oleksiak, and Larson, they have been amazing for me this year, and it's because of the one factor that I keep on bringing up every time I talk about my fantasy team, that for some reason, this year, blocks and hits are valued almost as highly as goals and assists. So guys that go out there with 5 blocks in a game have the same amount of points as a guy who gets 2 goals and an assist. Like, it's kind of crazy. So for this season, these Seattle defensemen and some of their forwards, they block shots like crazy, and I've been getting so many points because of it. Heading into tonight's action, I had them and all my other Canucks guys active, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get a bunch of points. And to be fair, that's exactly what happened, because some of the Canucks guys got points and blocks and hits and all that too. However, this game was so gosh darn frustrating, not just because the Vancouver Canucks had their own gaffes, mistakes, and fumbles, but because the Seattle Kraken were just so good at blocking gosh darn shots. Like, you wouldn't immediately notice if you're just looking at the standings, you're trying to see where the Kraken are. Sure, they've won 3 in a row now, which is good for them. But based off of how this Kraken team performed tonight, I was super surprised to see just the quantity of block shots, of great defensive coverage that they would have in front of their goaltender. They were blocking shots like crazy. I was like, okay, I'm kind of conflicted because my guys are getting points on my fantasy team, but I want the Canucks to score. Like, what's going on, bro? Jamie Oleksiak, you already got like 2 hits, 4 blocks, and a goal. You can calm down now, buddy. But either way, let's go over each of the goals, talk about what happened here and the story just in general. Because the Vancouver Canucks start things off with a goal scored by JT Miller. It doesn't look like a goal at first, but video replay shows it is. It's a long drive by Tyler Myers where the rebound is loose in the crease. JT Miller then pounces on it and he throws it on the backhand right into the open cage. But right as it crosses the line, Will Borgen, Seattle defenseman, is able to sweep it away and clear the puck. Now, the goal light went on, the play kind of stopped up for a little bit, and we were wondering, okay, what happened there? But upon video review, it was deemed that JT Miller had indeed scored. The puck crossed the line fully before Borgen pulled it off. So, for a brief period in time, JT Miller was the sole unanimous #1 point scorer in the NHL with 28 points on the season. Good for him, it's 1-0. Tyler Myers with an assist. That's not his only assist of the game, but that's all we see out of the first period. Honestly, the first period looked pretty good for both sides. Lots of pace, lots of chances. Both Demko and Philipp Grubauer are making saves. Lots of pace, lots of control for Vancouver. Good forechecking. But a lot of that just kind of went away in the second period. Because it's firstly Jamie Oleksiak who gets himself a goal on the rush. It's a pretty broken play where the Canucks lose their checks in the D zone. Matty Beniers has the puck down low. He throws it up into open ice. It's right onto Oleksiak's stick. He walks right in and hammers the slap shot down, making it 1-1. It was good for me. I mean, Oleksiak, he rarely scores goals anyway, so good for him to get his first on the season. Give it a few more minutes, though, and the Canucks take a penalty. It's Teddy Blueger to the box for hooking. And the penalty actually gets killed, but the Kraken have a whole bunch of pressure the entire time. Right after Blueger exits the penalty box, though, the puck finds its way in the goal, somehow. It was a long drive from the point where the puck hits Jordan Eberle's stick right in front. Eberle and Hronek are kind of battling it out. The puck is off Eberle's stick. It goes into Demko and trickles underneath, slithers into the net. It's 2-1 Seattle. They end up reviewing the replay, asking if it's off a high stick. It's deemed not a high stick, so Eberle's goal stands. It's a 2-1 game with 6 to go in the second. The Canucks then respond quickly. ELIAS PETTERSSON wins a face-off. It goes to Quinn Hughes. Hughes over to Hronek, back to Hughes, who takes it and slap shots the puck right into the far side corner. It is a beautiful goal assisted by Pettersson and Hronek, so there you go. Hughes and Pettersson back into the lead of the NHL's point production with 28 points. And the Canucks end off the second period with a flurry of chances and saves, lots of pace to end off this second, but the third is where they absolutely lose it. Eeli Tolvanen has a cross crease to Will Borgen, centered in front, and it's Yanni Gourde who tips it in. This is about 5 minutes in, so it's 3-2. This is off of a really bad clearing attempt by Quinn Hughes. He's in the corner, he tries to get it out. He just lobs a pass right at the boards, and it's easily intercepted by the Kraken. Hronek loses his check on Yanni Gourde, and the Kraken then score. There were a lot of penalty issues because the Canucks did not have their own power play until, like, partway through the third period. But before that, I mean, the Kraken make it 4-2 off of a really bad play by Tyler Myers. He loses the puck in the corner, he falls down, and it's Jordan Eberle who steals it down low, throws it in front for Matty Beniers. 4-2 Seattle, and the Canucks just look so defeated at this point. The Canucks get a power play a little bit afterwards, Ty Karche tripping on Tyler Myers, but it's a little bit too little too late. The Canucks cannot get too much on goal. This is where the Kraken really started blocking shots and stuff. It was super frustrating. And then towards the end of the game, I mean, the Canucks had themselves some pretty good offensive pressure with the Pettersson, Hughes, Miller, Besser guys, but as we talked about, Pettersson fumbled a few passes. It wasn't good. The Canucks were not able to score until the last 9 seconds of the game, where Tyler Myers throws a puck on goal. It deflects off of Nils Hoglander and in, making it 4-3 Vancouver with 9 seconds left. The Vancouver Canucks tried to get their play on at the very end. They executed it near perfectly, actually, off the faceoff into the zone, but Nils Hoglander unfortunately shot it too high. But at the end of the day, that is the game. It is 4-3 Seattle. Tyler Myers gives, Tyler Myers takes, 2 assists, 1 terrible giveaway that led to a goal against. He is looking pretty in this one. Pettersson, Hughes, and Miller are still number 1 in the NHL in points, but my goodness, do the Canucks not look as good as they had, let's just say, a week ago. This is the Great Recession, I guess you could say, right? It's real, it is coming, it is lurking in the Vancouver Canucks shadow. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canucks versus the Kraken. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.